everyone! Hi! Thank you very much, firstly, for joining my sister's Illustrator Creative Challenge, first of all. I hope you learned some fun stuff, which is going to be awesome because we're going to take it over to After Effects in just a second. Oliver, I do appreciate that yoga pose. Hi, Vlad! Hi, Storm! Hi, Robert! I hope you're excited. Whoa, wow, not my phone, just ratting me out. I know, this week went incredibly fast, didn't it? Hi, Katrina. Hi, Ray. Hi, Susan. Okay, oh, hi, Av. Welcome. I've noticed that a few people have been putting in their version of the After Effects challenges that I've done for you, which is amazing. So please continue to do so. I love seeing what you make. We had nothing. Thanks, Pappy. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Pappy. Okay, so you were just with my sister and you made something like this. With me, we are going to take that file and we're going to turn it into an animated retro game loop. We got a few different things to do for this one. But don't worry, it's all of the foundational things we've already done, just a bunch of them together. And this will be a lot simpler than you think it is. It's way simpler. I have to learn After Effects first. Well, Robert, you do have Animating 101 with me later. Not this week, but the week after. There's a few courses on there to help you learn animation and After Effects from the very beginning. But when you're ready to push yourself with some fun challenges, please come back to this. Uriel said Lost Sandman in the background. Thank you. That book is as big as my torso, by the way. It's huge. It's huge. Send curious to see what you're going to do. Well, we're going to make that. So first things first, please download the Illustrator file unless you already have it from Sister's stream. We'll have somebody drop the link down below for you if you want to grab a hold of that and join in at any time, either during the stream or afterwards with the VOD. Anki said regarding learning After Effects, it's fun, I've just started learning. Oh, I'm proud of you. So now that you're here, remember, double tap the project section, find your file, mine is called Day 5, and import. As long as it's on composition, whichever one you pick is good and we'll go in. Anki said, I'll join you on that AE 1012. Oh, please do. Please check out my Behance page. You'll be able to see all the classes we've done before this. That way you can do the mini game homework I've given you so you can get up to date. Pixie Pew Pew, yeah! Yes, Gareth! Okay, so we've got our file. I'm just going to double click in. And there's a lot of files. Now, when you go and make your own one in Illustrator, if you label your layers, it will make it easier for you later to find what's what and where's where. But for us, we're going to do it this way. What I want to do first is animate the character. So let's locate everything to do with the character first. That also includes the arrow and the bow for now. So I'm just going to change the color of these. See if I can make sure that these are all connected to the character. So far, yes. But I think, there we go. And it actually says character here. Yeah. There we go. Let me just turn all of these off just to double check. This is all of the character. I need all of them to stay together. Now, in the last one that we did, we learnt a lot about parenting. So that's exactly what we're going to do. The character is going to be the parent, so everybody else has to be the child. So we're just going to click and drag over to character. And now, going to press Y to move our anchor. Makes it a lot easier for you to tell where your animation's happening from once you do that. And V, or up here for the move tool. I'm not sure why it's V, it just always has been. So now if we move this, that moves the whole character together. I want to move my character from the left all the way to the right and then back to the center. So let me start all the way on the left. We need to move the position. Position starts with P. So let's press P on the keyboard. We'll pop our keyframe down there. I'm just going to move Storm to the right, but I'm going to make sure that the arrow's sort of in the same place as the box. This will make sense in a second. So we start off over here. We move a little bit, put Storm all the way back to the other side. We could totally leave Storm down here if we want, but I think I will put her somewhere in the middle after she's shot. all of the boxes. Let's press space to see. Oh, it's a bit fast. Remember, if the keyframes are too close together, they move fast. If they're too far apart, they'll move slow. Find what you're looking for first. There we go. So we've got need her to hold. To make her hold, we're going to copy the frame that we want to be still, or you could do it the other way. We'll do it the other way first. We can click this keyframe, go all the way up to toggle holds. We copy the toggle holds, move over a little bit and paste. We don't just leave it like that though. We hold Control on your keyboard and left click. So now this tells it how long to hold for. So if we had it here, it would only hold between these frames, but if I want it to hold longer, I just pull it out a little bit. Here we go. So let's take a look. She goes, la, 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 la. But she snaps back a little bit fast. We might need to make this a bit longer. La, 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 la. So she's there. We might not need to change the movement on this at all, but I think I might want to make this softer. So I'm just going to right click, do keyframe assistant and easy ease. That should slow her down when she gets to the end. Might do an easy ease on this one too. There we go, so she can snap over. I'm not sure if I like it. No, I prefer this more. Robert said you can never be too old to learn something new. That is only the time that runs away. I mean, you know what? To be honest, Robert, you're not wrong. We are creatures that can endlessly learn unless we choose not to learn. So I'm really glad that you're wanting to learn and doing more. Okay, so we've moved the character. This is definitely not enough time, so I need to extend this. We're going to right click day 5, unless your one happens to have more time than mine. Mine's at 1 second for some reason. Let's extend this a little bit more. I'm going to extend mine from 1 second to maybe 5. I might not need it this long, but sometimes it's better to have more because it's easier to chop off more than it is to drag in less. You love learning new stuff and techniques? Ooh, I've got some fun ones for you today. So she does her thing. She stays there. We don't have anything else for her to do yet, because we have to wait for the rest of it. So what do we do now? We're going to shoot an arrow. So here's the arrow. Let's take a look and see. It's the whole thing. So I'm just going to move my anchor and I'm going to move it to the top. The reason I'm moving it to the top is because I want to change the scale of this when it hits the box. And if I want it to scale up and down from the tip, the anchor has to be at the tip. Welcome, Sam. But if we move the character and I animate this going up, the arrow is still going to move with it. So we kept it all together just to make sure everything was good. Now we're going to deselect the parent. What about if we had moved her beforehand? This way we can make sure she's definitely going to be in the right spot. Okay, so I'm going to keyframe my position because I need it to move up. I'm also going to keyframe my scale, but you don't have to. This is just an extra thing. For those that have animated before, this is something a little bit of pepper, and spice. You can't be having that bland arrow. You need a little bit of pepper and spice. So we've got our position. We don't need the anchor. We've got our position on our scale. To open up your layer to see whatever keyframes you have, remember it's you on the keyboard. Has nothing to do with what it's called, but it's you on the keyboard. So that's what we're going for. So now I've got my arrow here. And I'm going to have my arrow shoot up there. And bump into this box. Let's take a look. Happens quickly. We can absolutely slow it down a bit, but it might be fine. Remember, like Sis was saying, the bullet hell games? It kind of does move that quickly. So now I've got my arrow going up. I'm going to scale it looking like it's being affected by its shot. When things move really fast, you remember like when you see the Flash, but like from far away, it looks like he's really long, or like, what was that guy? Oh, I can't remember what the name of it was, but it always looks really long when it's moving fast. So I'm making my arrow look like it's long, then it hits the mark. I'm going to squeeze it in. And not only are we going to squeeze it in, we need it to disappear. So to make it disappear, we're going to press T for opacity. Consider the T to be the end of the opacity. So we've got the T. Let's click on our stopwatch and I'm going to press U again. The reason why I'm trying to time it with the rest of the keyframes is you can do it by what's feeling good to you, but you've already got your keyframes that help you with your timing, so use them. So I'm just going to move my opacity over there and turn it to 0. So now when it shoots, we can drag this out a little bit. When it shoots, it hits and it fades away. Feel free to change the timing of either the arrow's movement, the scale, or when it disappears. T for opacity or transparency, that's right. So I've got the hit. I feel like that does it too soon for me. I like that more. Okay, so I've got this. Great! Here comes the easy part, because you know how I am. I like things being done smartly. We're all for the smartly. So, we've got one arrow. What do we do now? Well, before we do anything, to make this simpler so we don't have a bunch of empty objects, aka the nulls, what we're going to do is we're going to right click position and separate dimensions. We want the arrow to go up. Up only uses one axis, that's Y. So if we turn off X, we can freely do whatever we want with this one without having to worry about it adding extra keyframes. That's right, Robert. We're going to copy. Yeah. So let's duplicate this. That's Control D for duplicate. And we are going to time it with where Storm's bow is. So at the start, we've got the arrow there. I want the bow and the box to sort of be lined up. So let's say that's around here. I'm going to move the entire layer so we can actually see what we're working on. And on X on the new one, I just move it over. Let me move it over a little bit more. It's kind of on the corner. And if we press play, do you get it? Ah, it's fun, right? Okay, so let's do the next one. Make sure the bow's underneath the box. Duplicate. Move the arrow. Move the arrow in the X. That's the wrong one. Move the arrow in the X position. Try to get it slap bang underneath the box. Rinse and repeat. Sam is trying to wake up, and being here is the nicest way to do so. Oh, Sam. It's lovely to have you. It is always lovely to see you. All right, this seems to be about the right place. The plant pappy said super easy. Oh yeah. I tell you, most of this is. It's just a lot of really easy things together makes it look complicated. Nice, said Tim. And yo, barely an inconvenience. That's right. It's just a bit tedious, but that's okay. We've only got 2 more left to do. I know you know exactly what we're doing here. Duplicating, moving over till it makes sense. Duplicating once more. Make sure Storm's in the right place first. Right place-ish. She might not fully be at the right spot that we're content with. That's too soon. Maybe about here. And last one. Duplicate this. Move it all the way over. Last arrow to move into spots. Okay, let's play it back. Ta-da! I'm just going to push N. That allows it to loop closer. Vanessa! Welcome, lovely. We just learned how to move a character and shoot some boxes with our Cupid arrow. Cool. So we've got that. These are absolutely going to stay where they are. So what I'm going to do to clean up this box or organization of ours is select all of the arrows. Select, or I'm going to call it arrow group, GRP for group. If you have adjust composition during the span of the selected layers on, it will trim it down. Katrina said, ah, so cool. My Google thought I was talking to it. It was wrong. It was wrong. So here we go. I've got my arrows. We're good to go. Oliver said that's an impressive reload speed for a bow and arrow. It's just be like, yeah. Isn't there also a keyframe assistant which automatically spaces out the clips on the timeline? Tim, I heard something about that very recently. They're very well maybe. They're very well maybe. but I am absolutely teaching you the very bare bones. This way, if you forget where this keyframe assistant is, you'll know how to do it regardless. So on my streams, we don't use any plugins, we use nada. We do it all from scratch. That way, no matter what the occasion or what plugins you have or don't have, or if you lose something, you'll know how to do it anyway. Foundation is always good. You guys will make me hop in After Effects? Yes, Katrina, let's go! Yes! But I do want to find out what this keyframe assistant is. That sounds really cool. So we've got all of this going. How do we make the box react to it? Well, the first thing we need to do is first locate the heart boxes. I'm just gonna lock the stuff I don't want to mess with, or I'm just gonna hide them. I want to locate very specific things. Now we should, in theory, just be able to click on the one that we want to, but you might not be able to. This is the part where it's useful if you name your layers beforehand. That way you're not kind of looking around. All right, so we're gonna duplicate most of these layers. The only box that I need to know is the one on the front left. This is the box that I want. This is the only box we're going to need. We're gonna duplicate the behavior on all the other ones. So I'm slowly turning them off till I find them, but if you make your file, name your files. So this is one of the hearts. I'm gonna make this red. We're gonna do that on every red one. Now it's starting to look, it looks like it's got a theme. I think I can find my way through. Tim said I always ask my real life assistant, aka myself. Wow, Tim. Okay, so this one's also red. That one's also red. That one's also red. If you can select multiple layers at once and give them all a color. Easy, welcome Easy for my last Adobe challenge stream. We're making a retro game. Hold on, are these right? Yes, we're making a retro game animation now. Storm is absolutely being called out. Yes, he's being called out again. There we go, red here. Lovely. If I've missed anything, please let me know. Easy said legend. Thank you, you're too kind. Was that 2 reds? Nope, there's 1 red there. Okay, this one's a red one, wasn't it? Was it? Is this red? Yeah, good. Once we have all of these together, this will make sense, I promise you. Great. Let's move all of the red ones together. And what we're going to do is we're going to group them. Let's call them hearts. Hi, Silver! You made it in good time. So we've got heart boxes. These ones don't get shot. We're going to duplicate this. Call it heart boxes dupe. We only need the first one for now. You'll see why we need this in a second, but group your first set of hearts. I'm going to move the heart boxes to the top. And I'm going to turn them off. Let's turn on everything else now. We're going to group all of the box layers. Well, duplicate them first, then group them. This is our reference. This is our box reference. This way, we're going to know where all of the layers are, where they're supposed to be, all of that jazz. If you press T for opacity or transparency, you'll be able to change the opacity of it. I know we can't see any movement yet, but you will once we turn off the other boxes. So our heart dupe is great. We're going to move that to the top. All these other layers, apart from the one that we made colored first time, which is this one in the bottom left because we need it, we're going to group all of these ones together. We won't really need them. You might not have to do it in this way, but find the thing that works for you. You had a really good burger. It was the best one you had? That's wonderful. Having good food is always nice. Okay, we've got a new box. Robert said, does AE not take over the layer name from... It does, Robert, but because it's called layer 38, it means she didn't name them. So all these other layers called right wing, left wing, they're like this because Storm did name them, but she didn't name these other ones, unfortunately. All right, so what we are left with is the heart boxes. We've got the one box we're actually going to do something to. We've got our duplicate heart. We've got our reference, so we know where everything's supposed to go. I'm going to put it at the very bottom. And we've got our first heart. So the first thing we need to do is make our box, our actual box, react to the arrow. So let's turn on all the stuff that we need. You don't need to turn everything on. And I need to see when the arrow hits the box. So the arrow hits the box here. It's sabotage, I tell you. I know. So the arrow hits the box here. We're going to make sure the anchor's in the middle of the box. Otherwise, it's going to scale into where that anchor is, not to where we want it to. Press S for scale. I'm going to have it come in when it gets hit a little bit. And then go out. So it's going to look like this. We can make it go out for a bit longer. So we've got it going in and then now we're going to use transparency because the box got hit, but it needs to go now. So to make it go, T for transparency, opacity, and at the end we'll have it disappear, turn it to 0. So now it looks like it's been, you can move that over a little bit, see what happens. Oh, that's much better. All right, and let's chop that. That's Control, Shift, and D to cut between. Silver said, I currently had to head to work for my next shift, but you got a break in between. Oh, well, you've only got me for 3 or 4 more minutes. So now we've done our animation for our box. I'm just going to press U so I can see when it actually starts. If we turn our box reference back on, all we have to do is Control D, move this one upwards. We can do the same for all of them. I'm doing it one at a time because I'm able to immediately press P to go into position or shift and move it. That's Control and D and moving it up. Oops, and now we got one more. Move it all the way up. And toggle them. So what we want is the box behind to react to the box in front being hit. So the first box gets hit. Let's move it over. Second box reacts. Move it over. Third box reacts. Move it over one. Fourth box reacts. Move it over. Next box reacts. Move it over. And once you've put them all in the places you want them to, the shortcut is not working for me. Control, Shift, and D. You mean the one that cuts it? Your presets might be set to something different. Once you've got everything where you want them to go, there's another way to cut it, but I can't quite remember. It's a split tool. It might be in, I think it's probably up here somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Once you've got all your layers selected, click and drag your box layers and drag them all the way to the left. Now it's going to look like they're always on. Now they go, rah, wonderful. And easy peasy town. We're just going to drag it. Oh, no, we're not, because they need to disappear when they disappear. We're going to select all of our layers, Control, Shift, and C. We can call it whatever we want. I'm going to call it B1 for now. Oh, maybe I might do that after. Should I? It depends. If this doesn't, no, this is enough. We're going to call it B1. We're going to duplicate it. And all we're going to do is move it over. So if you chose not to group it, it'll be easy for you to go in and select which box you need to get rid of, which will be the red box. But you can go in and do that. As you are running out of time, I want to show you the next stuff you need to do. That one's quite self-evident. In the areas where the red heart is, make sure you delete the box. The other bit, to make sure that the background can loop, you're going to take one of your heart boxes and you're going to parent your heart box to the background. So wherever the background goes, I'm just going to make sure these two are the only ones selected. Wherever the background goes, the heart's going to go to. Let me move my Y down below. Just like we did in the other one for the other hearts. We'll drag this down. Duplicate the background layer. Set it back to the start. Remove the position so it doesn't move now. Go all the way back to the end and parent your new background to the original one. And once you're done with everything, if all your boxes disappear, connect your box reference back to your second background. If we turn the transparency up and took a look at this, when we scroll back and forward, it changes without us having to do too much. Now, thank you so much for hanging with me. This was awesome. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Can't wait to see what you've done.